Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic, and we're going to do the final scenario, Maintenance of Way. This is actually a very annoying scenario, and it took me a little while to figure out what I was doing wrong in this scenario. I kind of gave you the tip on what needs to be done at certain points in the previous ACS scenario, the thermal expansion. I kind of gave you information on what it is that you have to do to deal with suppression when you pass a signal. You may remember that I had problems with that in scenario 2. I didn't go back and edit that. I basically left that alone as it was. You're seeing it as it was. In scenario 4, I did explain how to do it, and I was actually doing it. And now I'm going to have to do it a lot. Because today we're operating Northeast Regional number 172 from Washington to Baltimore, making intermediate station stops at both New Carrollton and BWI Airport, which is normal. But various tracks are out of service due to routine maintenance. So we're going to be bouncing around, I think, between tracks here. I'm not looking forward to that. So we're going to have a lot of suppression going on. Let's go ahead and get started and see what we have to do here today. Good morning. Today you will be operating Northeast Regional number 172 from Washington to Baltimore. Due to the ongoing track maintenance at New Carrollton, you'll make your scheduled stop on number 3 track. There may be other unanticipated delays due to the track work around BWI State. Do not forget to sound your horn for any work crews you encounter. Open doors, finalize boarding. Okay, doors are open to finalize boarding. Let's take one more glance outside. We're gonna go to the back of the train. We're gonna pop off. That's not popping off. I'm gonna pop off the back of the train. There's the end. Okay, let's go outside. Take one more look over at the Capitol in the mist. We're not gonna see the Capitol again on this route for a little while because the 3 railfan scenarios do not go in this area. So we're not gonna see the Capitol again. As boring as this area is in the map, we're not going to see it again. So back to the train. Let's turn on the HUD. And let's get ourselves on the move here today. Well, not yet. We're going to eventually. Northeast Regional number 172, ready to depart Washington. Proceed on signal indication. Which basically is a restricted signal. We should have no problem with that. So we're going to go ahead and cruise this thing up to 15 as quick as I dare go without causing wheel slip. Foggy day here. A little lovely woman in a lovely purple dress there. Okay, we're going to pull the throttle down to... That might still be gaining speed. Yeah, we might need to pull that completely off. Yep, we need to pull that completely off. We're going to try and do that. There we go. So we're going to coast for a moment here as we get our green signal. You can see a train dead ahead of us. I should point out that is not a service. That train is literally just sitting there blocking the track for no really good reason. So we basically have to make our way around this guy, unfortunately. And that's what we're going to have to do. So we're junctioning over to here right now. Clearing the track we should be on. And we're going to say goodbye to him. As we're now going to take the track in front of him again. Or behind it, whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is. You can see part of Washington, D.C.'s road network over there as well. You can see some buildings going by. And we're on our way. So I'm currently running 18% throttle. I think I'm going to be able to get to the 45 probably by the time we're allowed to speed up. So I'm trying to hold without gaining past 15. We're not going to be in a 20 yet. The 20 is not going to activate yet. I wonder if part of the train is still in the junction. I'm not 100% sure. But now it's going to come up. And 45 is on. We are going. We are on the run. And we're going to try to get up to 45 and consequently 95 as quick as we possibly can. Because this is going to be a very tight first stop. You can see my ETA right now is saying I'm only going to be about 5 seconds early. So this is a very, very tight first stop. We need to make some time back here very, very quickly. We've had our chance to practice doing suppression slowdowns. We're going to be tested on it now. towards the metropolitan subdivision. Let's remember that's going to beep once in a while if we don't move the throttle repeatedly. I need to bring the throttle level back just a little bit for a moment, so I'm going to try to do that. That'll do the job. We're up to 95 now. I almost said 55, but it's 95. So we're going to put that back to a 55% throttle. We're going to have a 125 coming up. That won't matter for too long. We're going to get a few miles at that, but that's about it. Our first stop again is at New Carrollton, and that's about 7.25 miles from our present location. I'm inching that throttle up a little bit at a time here to ensure that we continue to have a good increase of speed, or at least as good as we can expect out of this train. Of course, things getting disabled again. What do you expect? 100% throttle now. That ETA is not being favorable to me right now. I expected a little bit of a better ETA out of this. Hopefully we can save a few more seconds before we get too close to the station, because we are going to be forced to drop to a 45 when we go over to track number 3. We are definitely not on track number 3 right now. Capital subdivision is already peeled off. We are down to our 2-track layout. The main line and the metro service are both going to be coming in now. A train's going by. That's an MP36PH. I seem to be stuck on 73502, which is unfortunate. So don't recall if it's the next signal or the one after it, but we're going to be having our slowdown momentarily. I think it's this signal. So I'm pulling the throttle down just in case, because I have to be able to go to neutral. In fact, that's how I'm going to have to do it, right here. There it is. So I'm now in suppression. I've responded to the alert. The train will bring itself down to speed over the period that we have now. Being at a high speed means that we have a long period of slowing down rather than going at a slow speed for that same long period. So that's why I wanted to make sure I got to a high speed before we reach that slowdown. So that means we can still cruise at a high speed for right now. We're not going to get a perfect drop here because we're still going to have a little bit of space that we're going to have to go 45, unfortunately. Nothing we can do about it. Put the throttle back on. We managed to keep it above 43, which was the objective. So we're going to continue along at 45 miles per hour as soon as I get back up there. In the course of that slowdown, I lost about 25 seconds on my ETA, but we are still designated to be on time at the moment, so we may be all right. I need to bring this throttle to an idle setting. Let's see if 3% will allow me to maintain or just lose slowly, because we are on uphill, so it should help. we're not gaining or losing anything. That's actually really good. Now I'm gaining. So here's our junction change. Not that one, the one following it. I almost set the brakes down to a low level there. That wouldn't have been good. So there's our junction change. We can start speeding up again, so I'm going to try to slowly do that. We're now on the 100, but because I'm now at a lower speed limit, I can't just crunch that throttle back up to 100%. I have to ease it up again. Otherwise, wheel slip. And wheel slip is not good. Wheel slip is not good. Not good at all. So we're not being given a lot of time to make the stop here. We normally, if the timing is on a specific minute, you have to the end of that minute in many cases. In this case, the end of the minute is 15 seconds later. So we're going to have to bring this one to a stop at a very reasonable point in order to make the stop properly. So we're getting to 3/4 of a mile away from the station now. I'm almost at the differential where I have to start slowing down anyway, but I'm going to keep the speed on for a moment longer. Now I'm at the differential, so I'm going to take the throttle off and I'm going to put a little bit of a brake application on here, which is doing a little bit of work here. I'm going to be following it up with a regular brake application. This is a good point for that. And that's actually coming off a little faster than I wanted, so I've gone ahead and released it for a moment. And back on, we're putting it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start preparing for a full brake here. Trying to add to that brake application, didn't want to for a second, but I had to put on very quickly for a moment to make sure we got slowed down enough that we can just stop comfortably up here, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. This is perfect, guys. This is absolutely perfect. Look at the time. Right on time, ladies and gentlemen, at New Carrollton, track number 3. Number 172, okay to go. Roger. So we're going to go ahead and put some throttle on here and see if we can get some speed going. We're going to have some junction changes up ahead, so this journey may take a little while. Our next stop, we're leaving New Carrollton. Our next stop is scheduled to be BWI Airport, i.e. Baltimore, Washington International Airport. Stopping on track number 1. So we're going to have at least one track change for that. We could have more. I think I was supposed to do that for the work crew, which is way back there now, but yeah, I didn't honk for them in time, so there you go. Excuse me. Hope you're having a wonderful week so far here on, as we drive here on the Baltimore to Washington route. Let's take a quick peek at the train we're driving today. What is our chariot for the day? It is this guy, Amtrak number 663. And this is what it looks like in the front, and that is what I look like driving an Amtrak train. Hello. And does he have both? What is he doing with his hands? Okay. In any case, we're good to go here. Let's sit back in the cab, make sure if there's any alert we hear it. That is kind of important. So we're hitting 60 miles per hour now. We probably don't want to get too comfortable at that. Imagine if we had the heat warning today, we had to stop at 80 today. Ooh, let's make sure that doesn't have a problem. Try to sneak a drink and that happens. Do not interrupt an engineer when he's drinking his coffee or other choice of beverage. Getting up to 90 miles per hour at this point. Crossing to 100 miles per hour. Let's get ready for that. Not what I had in mind, but it'll have to do. So our ETA of 748 at Bowie State, that's probably going to drop a little bit more as we're being forced to come down to a slow speed. Now, I don't see a 45 sign ahead, so it may not be a speed limit change. Let's take a look at the board up here to see we are on approach medium. We're going to cross this signal, which is for the other direction, but I think these signals actually do give you some updates on what's ahead too. Actually, no, this is a regular signal. We have a yellow signal. So now we're down to a 30 signal. We're on a regular approach signal. So we can't stop at 45 anymore. We have to go at 30. Painful. And what you just saw there is an expert getting out of suppression and maintaining speed as much as you can. You're going to lose a couple miles, probably no problem. But you can quickly gain those couple miles back and get yourself back to your current speed limit. So in this case, 30. Just to remind you again to pull out of suppression mode. Well, first of all, go into suppression mode. When you get that beep for a speed limit change, you have to punch the... you have to get your throttle to a negative position so you can before you go into neutral, because it will not let you go into neutral if you don't. Once you're in neutral, you can go ahead and well, actually you can put the brake in suppression anyway, even when you're doing that, but it's better to put the train into neutral first because you're going to be applying brakes while you have throttle on otherwise. So get the train in neutral, get the brake level over to suppression where it currently says released. Once you've done that, you can then push the Q button to complete the alert. You don't want to look around the cab while this is going on. If you don't do this in time, which is about 4 or 5 seconds maybe, you're going to find that the train will put you to 100% brakes on its own on the nozzle. Now that will help you get to neutral if you somehow forgot about that. But the heavy brake will also cause potential wheel slip in your train on the tracks. Some parts of the track do not have this problem. The tracks near Washington all seem to have this problem. So the less you can have that happen, the better. Now, when you want to pull out of suppression, why am I gaining speed? I have no throttle applied. When you want to pull out of suppression, I have to go down again. Oh, beautiful. Back to a neutral. Back to suppression. We're going to pull out of that quickly. There you go. I only lost 1 extra mile. That's perfect, actually. That is perfect. So as you noticed, to pull out of suppression, as soon as you get down to your speed limit, which in this case is 20, we're now on a restricting. So as soon as you get down to your speed limit, what happens is you pull the throttle immediately up into a forward setting, or if you're going backwards for some reason, the other way, but that's not likely. Once you've done that, at the same time, actually simultaneously, you can pull the brake out of suppression all the way over to released. And as soon as both things have happened, you can then punch that throttle right up above the 0 and quickly see where your speed is and try to maintain as much speed as you can without hitting any more brakes. The problem, of course, with this train is that you have to go at a very slow speed for an extended period of time prior to an actual drop in speed. There's a train coming. This is Northeast Regional number 151. We've just been released to a 45 mile per hour setting, so we're going to start speeding up again. So the mildly annoying part of the drive is that our ETI at Bowie is now 7:48:42. Or 40, sorry, 7:48:40. I apparently went up again. 7:48:40 is our ETA at Bowie. That changed and I gave you the wrong number. Now, the thing that is super annoying about this type of thing is you have to go for so long driving at 45 that after the junction change, you just go immediately right back up where you want to go. And it takes so long to get to that junction when you're going at these slower speeds. I never like having a train do this. It happens on Long Island Railroad as well. I don't like it there either. I'm just being honest. I don't like it. In the U.S., they have the train babysit you. They don't have you babysit the train. Unless you're on the Glasgow subway. That train literally just drives itself. You're not even relevant. Just push a button, you're good. Otherwise, you are irrelevant. Can't even speed on that. Can't even speed in the Glasgow subway at all. We're going to start gaining some more speed here. We're going to be crossing into the 70 mile per hour section in a moment on our speed. We're going to start increasing the throttle again. Here's another crew. Back to a full throttle setting. Our actual stop is now up ahead on the track. We are at 2 minutes ahead of schedule here, which is fantastic. I like being 2 minutes ahead of schedule. It's a good place to be. So you see we had a green signal there. We are continuing unabated, crossing 100 miles per hour and getting up to some really good speed. Surely our passengers appreciate this fast service. Oh. I heard the wrong type of alarm there. Whoops. We continue to have a green signal, which is a good thing. We're up to 117 miles per hour. I'm quite happy with that speed because we're going to be early at this stage. Oh, stop it. Ooh, we're actually losing speed on this uphill, which I was not expecting. That is unfortunate. Track going off to the side there, you can see there. Uh-oh. We're being slowed down. I dislike this. I dislike this greatly, but we had a nice chunk of speed going, so we're going to be covering a whole chunk of track here at a higher speed, which is not a problem. Not a negative at all. Having to go down to 45 just for this junction change, though, disappointing. This also looks like a double junction change, because we're on track 3, we have to get to track 1. Okay, we got down to 43.0 again. That's about as well as you could expect here. So we are now gaining speed again. I'm going to hold here at 44. I seem to see a downhill gradient up ahead, which is a little concerning to me. So for right now, I'm going to hold at 44 just in case there is a sudden increase in my speed. There it is. 0.9% downhill gradient. Yeah, this is the point in the scenario where the train says, yeah, I'm going to make you fail if you're not paying attention, boy. I'm going to make you fail. You need to pay more attention, boy. Our ETA, by the way, has gone slightly back further from where it was. We're now 758.18. Them's the brakes. So I've eased off my brakes, as you can see, back to a currently -1, which is an odd setting, but still. -1 setting as we get ourselves clear of the... There we are, 110 is now allowed again. Oh, we can actually go fast. Can we actually get up there? Let's find out. Spoiler, the answer is going to be no. We have to be there in about 5 miles, so it's not going to happen. Another track coming in here. We'll take a quick moment to look at that track that we just saw joining. That track you see was just this random unnamed track. I have no idea what this track is. It's not labeled. I have no clue what it is. Don't ask me. I have no information for you. We are now 5 miles away from the Baltimore Washington International Airport. We're losing a little bit more time off our ETA, but this will be okay. I think we're going to manage this. So I'm moving back up to a full throttle setting. We're going to keep an eye on when we're about 2.5 miles away from the airport. We want to try to start slowing down just a little bit by that point, because we actually are getting up to a much higher speed than I was expecting to have on this part of the journey. So we need to be ready to start lowering our speed about 2.5 miles, at the latest 2 miles away from the airport. I might go for 2 miles. At that point, it'll just be a minimal speed decrease, but as we get closer to the airport, it's going to be a rather substantial speed decrease. 90 miles per hour is our current speed. Our limit is 110. I feel like there's a 100 coming up. I don't know why I feel that, but I do. Must be what I ate for dinner. Thank you. Let's try not to speed now, shall we? Yeah, good idea. There's a 90 coming up, so we're going to let this sucker coast a little bit. We have to slow down anyway, so we're going to do a little slow down. Not coming down much at all, is it? Heavier brakes. Actually, there's a stop right there anyway, so yeah, we want to get ourselves slowing down anyway. Let's do that. I'm going to put a minimum brake application on of this standard so we can start slowing down, because we are coming in hot. We're coming in rather hot. Yeah, let's do a heavier brake at this point. We're going to need it. That's what I had in mind. We're now well under the 90 as it comes into effect. We're going to be entering a 110 in just a moment. I think we need to get a little bit more brake power on this train right now. Yeah, we're coming in a little... Yeah, we really are coming in hot this time. We're going to get our speed close to the 30, but we're going to be slightly over it. We should be alright for the stop, though. We're moving the brakes back to a minimal... Actually, I'm going to take it and release it completely, because I can actually move up. I said release it completely. Thank you. Release completely and actually travel at 10 miles per hour for a moment, because I actually want to get a little closer to the front of the platform for when we depart. That gives us a little bit more leeway for our remaining stop. That is the idea here. We could actually put many of our coaches off the platform if we want to, but what kind of train would I be servicing at that point if I did that? Get the brakes on, please. I'm ready for brakes now. Alright, so we have arrived. I think we're right on the platform still. So we have arrived at BWI Airport, track number 1. number 172, okay to go. Leaving BWI Airport. Our next and final stop is Baltimore Penn, stopping today on track number 6, which is where we always stop, because, you know, consistency. I truly hope that you have enjoyed this series of the scenarios on the Washington-Baltimore route. I do credit Brandon, who challenged me, by the way, to play these, saying that I would like these. I do credit him for making a nice, vast array of different types of situations that we can find ourselves in over the course of the journey. It does add a little bit to the rather blandness of doing the same journey back and forth all the time. It does add a little bit. For example, the stop at Grove on the way to Washington in, I think it was scenario number 5, actually was rather interesting. Hello. It was actually rather interesting because we didn't really have any other stops except for that and those two stations on any of our runs. We didn't really stop anywhere else. And also the, hello, you can see who that was on YouTube. The fact that we also had the place where you had to stop to wait for a train to pass in this scenario was also a nice little touch. We didn't have really a lot of red signal situations in this route, and that was one of those rare situations we got to actually see the signals doing their job, and that actually makes this, I feel, one of the harder scenarios to deal with from the perspective of dealing with a train that puts you in suppression for a slowdown. Having that kind of thing happen is really unique. Having that kind of situation is really unique on this route. So it's nice to be able to see that at least once as a result of train tracks being closed and having to, you know, honk and wave at the lovely men in the work suits in sweating and toiling in 35 degrees Celsius weather, or more like 90, 100 Celsius or Fahrenheit. Yeah, people in those heavy work suits in 100-degree Fahrenheit weather is interesting. So our throttle is now up to a maximum setting, as I am wont to do. We're not going to have a lot of time on this setting because we have to arrive at Baltimore Penn in 8 3/4 miles. Our arrival time is scheduled to be 8:15. Our goal is to be pulling into the platform sometime in the 8:14 minute if we can handle it. We can be late on opening the doors. That is acceptable. But we can't be too late because, well, we're being graded. We're coming up to a 105 mile per hour speed limit board. That tells me there's going to be another 110 following that. And then we're going to be dropping probably to like a 75 or something like that. I don't know. 75, I believe. And we're going to be gradually taken down probably to 70 to 55 or something like that. 50. Thank you. And there may be a suppression pulling us down as well. That is possible. But other than that, we know for sure that we're going to have a 30 mile per hour speed limit as we pull into the tunnels. We're keeping an eye out right now for Halethorpe, which should be, I think, in this area between these speed limits, I think. Again, I say I think. Our ETA is currently 20 seconds ahead of schedule. That will change as we have to slow down for a suppression up ahead, so that will change. Or it will change as we just keep gaining speed. There's that possibility too. We have to keep our speed at 105 maximum for right now, so I've taken the throttle off to 65%. I'm actually losing speed now, so we're going to reverse that to 75. We've already missed Halethorpe. I didn't call it out this time, unfortunately, so you hopefully saw it because I didn't see it. There's one more station before Baltimore Penn, that is West Baltimore, but the high-speed track officially ends up ahead, so it's not going to be part of the high-speed journey. We're going to start putting some... Actually, I'm going to need to put a heavier brake on right now, which is a little annoying because the brakes don't want to trigger. There we go. That's not coming off enough. Not that many brakes. made a little more, but not that much. So here we're going to ease it off now because we are coming close to 75 on our speed. We're going to have a 70 after that, and I think that signal up ahead is going to suppress us because there are lower speed limits up ahead, which tells me there's probably a 45 in there that we're going to be reduced to an approach medium for. Stop it! We're currently scheduled to arrive 24 seconds early. 26 seconds early. We're gonna have to get ourselves down to 50 in a moment. That's gonna take care of itself right now. So here we go back into neutral again. Suppression, we have to hold till we get to 45 now. We're on approach medium. So yeah, that 50 took care of itself, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Ooh, that was a good increase back to 45. I like it. Well, we do have a 30 coming up here. I'll stop it with this disabled garbage. So now we're going to bring it down to 30. So a little more lowering of speed limits here. We're going to ease it back a little. Try to go to a... not minus 13. I don't like minus 13. Stop giving me that. Minus 15 will do. Number 13 is a bad number. Bad number. Bad. Say hello to West Baltimore and say goodbye to West Baltimore. Oops, didn't want to do that. I think we ever took a good look at West Baltimore. Just going to pop back to the station for a second here. This is what West Baltimore looks like as a train goes through. Very, very interesting. Our ETA has gotten worse. We were doing really well on our ETA. Now we're only going to be about 5 seconds early. That's a shame. We need to stop losing speed, please. Come on, train. Gain some speed. Gain another mile or two here, please. Don't... You're supposed to work with me, not against me. Please, work with me. Not against me. Train. Thank you. So we're going to approach Tunnelpalooza up ahead. No, that's not an official name. I'm just calling it Tunnelpalooza. A plethora of tunnels. There's a much better term I could have used. I might have gotten myself censored for that. So I'm going to be careful with my words here. Okay, we are starting to gain speed again as we approach a downhill sector. The downhill sector is going to cause me to increase speed dramatically, so I need to put a decent brake application on to counter against that. We're now on a 1.0% downhill gradient. The gradients downhill will continue as we approach Baltimore. Or Baltimore Penn, I should say. We're already in Baltimore itself. Oh, that's a heavy brake. Don't want that. This will do for now because I'm actually well under my limit right now. ETA is now 6 seconds early. Arrival time again in basically 4.5 minutes. 1 3/4 miles to go. I've eased off on my brakes a little because we're on a 0.8% downhill gradient now. That is going to increase to a 1.3% downhill gradient when we're in the Wilson Street Tunnel. Right now we're in the Gilmore Street Tunnel. I'm actually losing speed with a very small brake, so let's actually make sure I maintain my speed for the time being. That would be ideal. Okay, that will do. Let's not push it. Let's not push it at all. Oh, look, another train. Number 111. Busy tunnel right now. It's a nice little touch, seeing another train leaving as you enter. So I'm up to an 11% brake. I am still gaining speed, which I expected. So we're going to, don't go for it. There we go, 14 will work. So we're at minus 14% brake right now. I'm actually gaining some time on the ETA. I'm 18 seconds early now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and leave a minus 14 brake. Lose a little bit of time in this tunnel. This is acceptable. You can see our stop up ahead. That means we'll be there in about 2 minutes or so. Now I'm going to ease the brakes up to a minus 11 again. As you can see, the exit to the Wilson Street Tunnel up ahead. That's going to take us into the St. John's Tunnel as soon as we come around another corner. And we emerge from the St. John's Tunnel. We'll be on the approach into Baltimore Penn. I'll try to give you a view of the scenery as we go by here. You can see a new speed limit board after the station, but since we never really go that way, and there is a tunnel over there as well, since we never go that way, we're never going to have to worry about seeing that speed board or that tunnel. So that's not any of our concern. Big advertisement in the distance. So we were gaining speed there again. I went ahead and put a stop with a 13. Went ahead and put a small brake application on for a moment to make sure we stayed within our bounds. The gradient is now leveling out, so I've kind of started leveling out the brakes as well. I think it's going to stay at minus 2 as we come in. I could be mistaken. Nope, it's up to minus 5, minus 4. Yep, minus 2. Once we enter the station, that is your brakes because of the way Train Simulator works. We are on flat ground, so it looks like we're going to be flat coming in. Excellent, excellent. That makes it even easier. We can now start applying a minimal brake because we are now entering the station. 30 is where I would want to enter a station anyway. That is our speed limit, coincidentally. So I didn't bother with the brakes coming up to the station. We're just going to come to a stop normally here. Going to apply a little bit more brakes at this point. We have the time to 8:15 to open the doors. I may be opening them early if we come to a stop sooner. Okay, I didn't really want to go this far past the thing, but you know what? I think there's a train hanging out over here, so we're going to get a picture with that train. And all should be well. I didn't show you any scenery, by the way. Sorry about that. In any case, we have arrived at Baltimore Penn. That is the end of the journey. And I'm going to wait for 5 more seconds and we'll open the doors. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Let's look at the train as we finish. We had a wayward traveler here who was waiting, maybe another engineer, who was waiting to board this train. And he stopped to take a picture of our train for us. This is the picture he sent us, the moving video shot. Thank you to him for doing that. So, yeah, I'm making that up. But in any case, that's the end of all 6 scenarios. And that's the end of the career scenarios, thank goodness, for this route. We're going to have some railfan scenarios still coming up. We're going to get 1,000 points on each of those because you can't really screw those up. There's no way to not get 1,000 points. I mean, other than quitting in the middle of them. So we're going to see those coming up. Other than that, yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you ding that bell to know when I upload more stuff. I'm thinking of doing the railfan scenarios next time, but I'm going to be going to record the next route I plan to drive. I'm going to be planning to do Falmouth Branch after this route. I'm going to actually record that before I do these railfans. And we'll see if I have time to do research on the railfans before I actually play them for you. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. But in any case, excellent work. Another engineer will take over from here. Thank you very much. To the scoring screen. Maintenance of way completed. Once again, because I've already done this scenario in my failed recording, I am sitting on a 0 experience gain. So that is not a bug. Once you've already gained the experience, you can't gain a second time. I already explained that before. I don't need to explain it. No one cares about it. I certainly don't, but some of you might be curious. That's how it works. So sitting on 137,708 XP, which means absolutely nothing. We're going to go ahead and move on to, as long as I get everything recorded in time, we're going to move on video-wise to the Railfans. But I'm considering whether to do a Railfan series over a week. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'd like to have a nice, easy week to just watch things as well. So I may do that, and I may not do the Railfans next time. If I don't do the Railfans next time, then you're going to be seeing Falmouth Branch probably coming up, because I see some shorty scenarios there, and given the situation I'm in terms of my personal requirements right now in personal life, it's probably a good idea that I do some shorty scenarios so they're ready to go. And I can just upload them for you as needed. But no matter what happens, I'm going to be getting you the Railfans at some point, if not next time anyway. I'll try to get them in before I have to leave. But in any case, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure you join the Discord server to also, if you want to say hi to me as well. I will appreciate any interest there as well, needless to say. And yeah, other than that, not much else to talk about. So again, see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, and I'll see you probably for Falmouth Branch, if not these Railfans. We're going to see both at some point, but I will see you next time for that. Bye-bye.